Alright, let's try this. Sephiroth, Fabled Soldier, 3-mana 3/3. Kind of similar to Gix. Whenever you attack, you sack a creature or you draw a card. Gix, whenever you poke your opponent, you draw a card. Whenever a creature dies, you steal 1 life for your opponent. If that happens 4 times in the same turn, this flips. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I've played against this a bunch and it's never happened. It doesn't seem too easy to do that. I've seen people play a bunch of creatures that when they die, they leave behind a 1/1, so you can sack that as well, but then you need like a genuine sack outlet, kind of. You could have a bunch of removal and kill your opponent's creatures, but if they don't have a bunch of creatures, that doesn't work either. You could, I think, cheat death this with like Malakir Rebirth in the face of a board wipe, and that would be a bunch of triggers. But I don't know if it's the same instance of Sephiroth that comes back and sees the old Sephiroth's triggers. So I don't think that actually works. But anyways, I guess we'll read the backside. It's a 5/5 flyer. Has Supernova. As this creature transforms, you get an emblem that is essentially a blood artist. So every time something dies, you steal a life. And when this attacks, you can sack any number of creatures and draw that many cards. So kind of cool, but your board is probably already out of creatures because you just sacked a bunch to flip it in the first place. So kind of a weird ability. It's not indestructible or anything on the other side. But the emblem is nice. If you have that permanently, it is a bit of an issue. However, it's so... It just feels kind of snowbally. Like that, it's like... I don't know. You flip it, it feels like a victory lap. It doesn't feel like it matters that much. Is this better than Gix? I don't really know. Because Gix gets to draw a ton of cards, and you also don't lose your creatures. So it's maybe just different enough that it's hard to compare it. But I don't know, Gix is in here anyways. So everything that likes to come back from the graveyard is ideal. Phyrexian Reclamation, Reanimate spells, all that jazz. Reassembling Skeleton, my favorite uncommon ever. I finally ended up crafting Grief, seems like a good spot for it. What is it? Warren Soul Trader, Yawgmoth, ways to sack my own creatures outside of combat. This does not have Menace. This does not have Flying. It doesn't gain Indestructible. So, seems really annoying to actually try to swing with this. You need, like, removal. It also has an equipment, which I wanted to leave in here to talk about it, but I ended up not doing that. It also has... this thing. I don't really like this at all, actually. I know it like doubles the pace in which you flip your thing, but good luck equipping this and also swinging and then also having things to like actually flip and trigger and whatnot, because the first trigger the first extra trigger it gives you, it just replaced itself, right? You didn't like net any, it replaced itself. This doesn't like give you any stats. It's actually kind of weird. It plays more into the same issue that this card has, which is it doesn't have Menace or Death Touch or like anything. So this forces your opponent to now block it, right? Which I argue you kind of don't ever want it to be blocked. The idea is it has First Strike, it must be blocked, so it kills something, and that's how you get your trigger. But this is Historic Brawl. This is not like kitchen table EDH with your friends, you know, and you're playing bracket, whatever. This is Historic Brawl, so you're not doing that. That's not going to happen. So that equipment is a bit of a trap, in my opinion. Drivnod is pretty neat, too. I expect this to actually enter and rather consistently be indestructible, but we'll see. There are some combos we're talking about with this one. You can reanimate like Priest of Gix, and then if you have Jet Medallion on top of everything, you can spam flip something that generates treasures. Plunderer creates treasures. I like this, but I also don't like it because it costs 4. I don't know if that's gonna really come up too much, but we'll see. Hopefully we don't need a bunch of removal, but I feel like we're going to. And I also expect this to die a whole bunch, but at least it draws a card when it dies, and I like that. And it can trigger a bunch of cards in my deck, so. Alright. That's all I've got. I really wish this Diabolic Intent was a creature, though. I don't have any creatures outside of Bitter Blossom, but I mean, Bitter Blossom is a card, so... Alright, they have the best card ever. Let's see if we can beat that. Let's see if we can beat Sigarda's Aid. It's the best card when you have other cards with it, I should say. Which is pretty easy. Alright, they decided to not flash that in to equip on a creature and give it double strike later. Alright. Well, Sigarda's Aid probably just spikes your chance to win by like 30%. Probably one of the most crucial cards I could have drawn. Let's get rid of Tutor. No, we get rid of Victimize at this point. They didn't move the equipment. That's kind of weird. So... Chrome Mox. I think I need Ophiomancer in play, because Death Touch is pretty useful. And I don't think I'm casting Chrome Mox. I guess I could just cast this one now. Death Touch is useful, I guess. Sigarda's Aid is still just cracked in half still. This card is probably better than everything I've done combined this entire game. Alright, randomly generated mythic rares. I can't wait. So I can play my commander next turn, but now they have, like... what's the best equipment? What's the best one? Hexproof from monocolored. That's not what I expected my opponent to go grab. That's a little unusual to me. But that's what they did. Let's get rid of the grub. I think I get rid of this. Okay, I should have just waited. Probably should have just waited, but I can, in some unusual way, actually flip my commander. I mean, it's possible, it's on the table, but like, I don't know. I feel like my opponent really wanted to get something that got around flying blockers, but they are still drawing a ton of cards. Maybe it doesn't matter. I think this... I mean, the whole game's been defined by Sigarda's Aid, so we'll see. They randomly generated Trample off of their thing. I mean, you might as well cast it, yeah. That is not where I would have put that. Does that do anything? No. So we can flip our commander with Soul Trader. And I think that's interesting enough to do. 1, 2... Feels kind of foolish in a slight way, but maybe it's... I think I'm probably just at that point I have to do this. So... Okay, I don't think I can flip the Westvale Abbey. I can't also... Can I kill my opponent? No, I can't. I don't have enough. I think I'm 1 short. I think I'm 1 short here. Hold on. Wait a minute. So stop here. Pass the turn. Okay. Yep. That happens. I think, yeah, we got it. We can sack Mutavault. No, 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 no! I wasn't done! What? It just removed the stop. Why did it... Can you not do that, please? I don't know I did that. Well, my opponent drew a card when they shouldn't have. It just, like, removed the stop. Unless I did that on... Oh, no, chat, we're 1 off. No, we're not. 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 We can flip... No, we don't have to flip Westvale Abbey. We don't have to flip Westvale Abbey. This is... I don't know why I'm struggling so hard. I can just make a token. I can just make a token. Everything's fine. Okay. Oh, man. What a roller coaster that was, huh? Okay. We did it. Wow. I almost missed it. That was, that involved both of my lands, too. Oh my goodness, I beat Sigarda's Aid. Oh man. This is just the best card in any equipment deck, period, and they just had on turn 1. They did also randomly generate Trample, too, so that was probably... that was the last possible window to go for it. What a... Oh, I almost missed it. Ooh. I almost missed it. Oh, man. Oh, that was crazy. We flipped the commander on the first game. We actually flipped it in the first game. That was a hand with no creatures in it. My hand had no starting creatures. And I still killed my opponent. That's insane. Well, I guess we can just stop playing it. That will never happen again. That was the best game we'll have. I have no idea. What is the Nadu nerf? Twice per turn? What do you mean it only has... Oh, it's twice per turn across all creatures. Okay, I see. Yeah. Instead of just like 2 per creature. Alright. Most games before the nerf, Nadu kind of just didn't really do it more than twice. So it really didn't affect this format, in my opinion. Every time I saw Nadu before the nerf, it's like if it did it twice, you were just clearly losing horrendously bad. Alright, so we name... Human? There is no overlap with any of my creatures. That is tragic. I'm going to play Slasher. I'm going to play Slasher here. Because this is a huge problem for my opponent. You have to, like, do something about it. That is not something. Alright. Not what I really wanted, but I'll take it. Yeah, I'm just totally trampling this opponent. They need... I don't even really know what they need here, but they clearly don't have what they need, so this isn't tapping for mana either. I'd have to block because Mox Amber is mana for next turn, and that's just a problem, right? So I just have to trade. But it itself, I really don't think is that problematic. Still just phenomenal. Like, it's an insane card. Oh, look, it's someone that actually has a 1-drop, chat. Look at that. Tragic. I guess we're naming Soldier? No, I'll name Human. I'll have to look what the right name is in the future. Oh, I missed a damage, chat. Whoops. That's fine. I think I can do better than that. I do have Ophiomancer. I do have Ophiomancer. Yeah, VV is also not really broken in 1v1. That's probably actually just worse than Nadu. It's just worse than Nadu. Alright. We did enough stuff on our turn. My opponent didn't want to keep playing. Look at that. Are we a turn 1 Dark Ritual Commander gamer? Is that what we are? We probably are. I'm going to say we are because I want to. And I haven't done it yet. Oh, you know what? I should have played Chromox first. Should have played Chromox. Oh, wait, no, wouldn't have. Okay, never mind. That wouldn't have been too relevant. Let's get rid of that. Feels kind of lame, but yeah, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to pass. Alright, this looks like a desperation answer for this, but I think you still could have maybe waited, unless they want to untap and instantly play a Mana Rock or something like that. Oh, I guess we'll see. Also, I don't think I've ever seen that Steam Vents before. Oh, I really wish I didn't draw that. I really wish I didn't draw that. Whatever. I don't care. Colorless land on turn 2 is interesting. This bounces it? Okay, well, I got nothing. Yep, I got nothing. That's unfortunate. Untap land, please. One time. Come on, game. I only took out 2 lands, bro. Ah! I can't play this. I just can't play this. That's just not realistic to me. Maybe it's too late to consider other options, but like I'm not convinced I should play that ever. They let me go to combat. Okay. We did get to combat. They didn't, like, burn me or anything. I could have played Gix pre-combat, but with the blue mana, I'd rather try to force an issue inside of combat first. Can I discard that in any meaningful way? I cannot. Alright, we'll just play this out then. Could be Spell Pierce. Looks like it is, actually. Oh. Sure. Right. Well, it's another creature. I guess all things considered, I guess I'll just take that. Black Lotus. Oh, God. Oh, my. Reassembling skeleton. Black Lotus, bro. No. It's not fair. It's not fair. Okay, so there's an Abrade. Let's do the thing with stuff. I know I'm gonna just have to now, so here. And then I just flare it. Because it's gonna die anyways. Decline. I declined it. There we go. I almost didn't decline it, but I did. Alright, so no Black Lotus mana, and Ral costs 6. That is extremely significant, but I still have an opponent with 15 life, so. They drew a land for the turn. They do swing. Why did they swing with the 1/1? Must be a board wipe. Is it a deal 3? I'm gonna block like that. So I don't get hit by a deal 2 on a 3/3. Alright, they had one anyways. They have a second one. I can't say I care too much about the bird. Alright, they do not. They just trade. Fair enough. So they're still not under 12. I can not... Things I don't care what happens to is a good idea this turn, I think. Do I even play Bloodghast here? Do I even play Bloodghast? Reassembling skeleton, my beloved. I'm gonna play Bloodghast. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna play Bloodghast. I'm not gonna play Bloodghast. You can't make me. I'm gonna cast this. Okay, that's fine. If that was mana drain, I probably would have just flipped the table. But it wasn't. Looks like a Delve card, yep. Hopefully it's... well, I mean, I don't know which one it could or couldn't be. We'll see. They're all just kind of similar. Oh, they deliberately left up mana. That's weird. Is that weird? Maybe that's not weird. They also didn't swing first to scry. Likely one of these two cards has to be a land. Maybe even both. I'm sure one of them's a land. Alright. Well, Oracle of the Alpha is pretty good when you draw, you know, the good ones. It's pretty good when you have Black Lotus Ancestor Recall. Pretty good. So here, this is the only thing that matters pre-combat, and then we cast this now because I want to do Sephiroth. No. Without sacking a damage-dealing thing. Okay, I can present Skeleton at some point. Wow, that is so ballsy. That is so ballsy. I don't have lethal, do I? It's a good game. I don't know if this is lethal. Am I not seeing something? This isn't lethal. I don't know what they're talking about. Oh, okay. They committed Sudoku. Pyroclasm is nuts. I don't know the last time I've seen Pyroclasm. I don't know if I've ever seen Pyroclasm. That's pretty nuts, huh? What else had... Yeah, the Ancestor Recall was nuts. Fortunately, we didn't just instantly lose to Black Lotus. That would have been tragic. I had the flair for it. Bruh! Bruh! What is going on? Why is this happening? Surely there's no second permanent. First they just steal one, and now I can't kill the Ragavan, right? Nope. Alright, we're back to killing the Ragavan. I would have conceded if they played my creature. Would have just conceded. What's this do? It's just gutter snipe. I don't really think it matters which creature I play. Actually, I know for a fact it doesn't matter which creature I play, so... Let's play... I guess my commander? Because it's more resilient to dying? I don't even know if that's true. We've had the same half of our deck basically every game. I'm not sure why that's happening. I feel like I've seen the same 30 or so cards every single game. Okay, yep, we're just stacking up a combo kill here. Makes sense to me. Oh, that's a bit annoying. I will put that to the command zone. Yeah, I should probably put that to the command zone. I can play this. I can pick something up, but I can do it whenever I want. Opponent's mathing out a victory here. What did they discard? A mountain, okay. Okay. Burgie is a little annoying, I'll say. Maybe not the most annoying thing that could happen, but it is a little annoying. Do I have to kill it? I probably have to genuinely remove this. Let's pay black first and then get rid of Burgie. Spend our mana picking up Gix. Their last card was a land. Huh? Alright, so now they have all the setup in the universe. Oh, I can't cast that. Never mind. I don't have... The Mox can't tap for none of that order. Next turn. What could you have possibly have drawn that makes you want to cast Urbrask here? Apparently nothing. They are aware I can just kill it, right? So... play that. Suppose it's free to cast it the first time. It's not like the game is being decided by that one time it died. They can't just go again. Probably a bit of a mistake, though. I don't know. I'm willing to pay life to do stuff. I don't think they're going to cast it again unless... yeah, alright. So it looks like they cast it maybe thinking it could just block or something. And that is fair, but... I mean, that's not really why you play this. It completely hard counters Nadu, but you just have like a black deck that has a bunch of removal and stuff. Just doesn't really come up much. I have not seen this played in... Honestly, the last time I think I saw it was when it came out. They probably take the intent, but Victimize is also... okay, no, shoot. They thought about that real quick. Let's play that, and then play our commander, but we don't sack anything? Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind. It's got text on it. Haven't actually played it yet, so... Alright, well, we got stuff. I only draft when I'm trying to get the stuff out of the draft. I don't know what the best card to look for is here. I really don't know. Probably this, because we're up against the deck that we're up against. So... I'm not gonna sack anything. Actually, you know what? I will sack this. I did just get Chthonian Nightmare, so... I'm not going to spin the Nightmare right now. Because I kind of want to keep it in play. Because Mono Black can't really deal with it. Also, my opponent does have a card that's relevant with Roby in play. It's adorable. Let's play this. Oh, let's play this first, actually. Yep. Yeah, trampled. Just completely thrashed them with a Phyrexian Reclamation Chthonian Nightmare card. They're just not really going to be able to infinitely remove my stuff. Or I could, and just move on if it doesn't work. Could also just do that. Bitter Blossom is definitely better. Still kind of slow. But we have a good Chrome Mox with Bitter Blossom. And we have Cavern. This might work. They also just didn't have the 1-drop. Alright. That's actually nuts. Let's get rid of Victimize. It feels like that probably isn't doing much here. This is definitely a very Chrome Mox friendly deck, I'll say. Alright, yep. Get trampled. Look at that. Look at all these games being decided turn 1 and 2. It is pretty close to Timeless. That's actually a good analogy. Oh, there it is again! There it is again! There it is again. I can't do anything. I can't do anything about it either. Bitter Blossom, so I can Bone Shards later. Is it the 6th game? The legendary 6th game in a row decided by turn 3. This is actually, you know what? This is actually getting close to Timeless. You're not wrong. With that mindset in mind, it kind of sort of makes things make more sense too, right? It looks like they didn't use it, maybe. Sort of, kind of. Yeah, it looks like maybe this actually isn't utilized. Big and true. I could actually discard a card, but this is probably about the same. And let's play around Stern Scolding, because knowing our opponent, they probably have that, right? Oh, maybe not, maybe not. That is an untapped forest. Why are we doing that? I wonder. We got a Dark Confidant trigger? No way. Literal world first. That has never happened in the history of gaming. I still feel like I'm completely and utterly lost, but maybe they don't have crazy stuff? I don't know. You know, anything's possible. Okay, well, the draw didn't help. Wow, they had nothing, but they didn't fetch for, like, breeding whatever or anything like that. Hedge maze. Okay, they just had hedge maze, I guess. Another Dark Confidant trigger. Unbelievable. Look at us get there. Look at us do it. So I probably play this and just get excited if my opponent trades, which they will not trade, but we would be excited if they did. It's Gix again. Yeah, bro, we've been playing the same 30 or so cards, it feels. Or like the same... I shouldn't say 30 cards, because, I mean, that doesn't incorporate lands or anything, but... It feels like I've hit the same same cards every game. I don't know if that's, like, consistency, which is a good thing, or just random. Like, super, super random. This is not a human, right? Tragic. We're teetering on the edge of losing to a counterspell. Come on! Come on! Come on! Man, come on. They didn't even tap the land. They didn't even tap the land for extra mana. And I would assume they would have drawn something castable there, so... Doesn't even matter. You're a blue-green player, you don't actually have to play tight. You just do whatever you want. Literally do whatever you want, doesn't matter. Okay, there's a chance we can win. I don't know what it looks like, but I'm sure it exists. I'm sure it exists, chat. Just don't ask me what it looks like. It involves this card, though, so... we start there. Kind of wish I tapped different, honestly. Oh wait, never mind. It doesn't actually matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So do I keep that in the graveyard? It is a 3-drop for Chthonian Spaghetti, so decline. I don't know if we can win, but we're gonna try to. We're really gonna make a show of it. So here, here for 3. You, that. Sack Dark Confidant because reasons? No, that's not right. Let's sack Dark Confidant to this because I need mana. I don't need cards. play... Chat, did we still win? Oh, no way. Did I still win this? There is nothing to do before I do this again. Oh, I think we're gonna do it. Oh yeah, we also flipped this. I forgot that had text on it. Sure, I don't really care about that. Wait, hold on. Let's not get weird. Do this. We did it. We did it. Oh, I can't believe we did that. That's insane. I can't believe we did that. I thought it was lights out. I mean, Scape Shift is one of the best Tatyova cards, so I mean... Wow. They were at like full health because they healed back up to like almost full, right? Well, full as if this is Hearthstone. Like 25, 22? So, that's crazy. I will say, if we did have Ashnod's Altar, I don't think we could have done that, because it was all colorless mana, and I needed black mana. So I don't think Ashnod's Altar in this spot would have done it. Woe Strider would not have done it, because I needed mana. Altar of Dementia would not have done it either. Yawgmoth would have drawn cards, and could have killed my opponent's stuff, which would have been useful, but I think... the mana was the reason I won this turn instead of passing a turn, and my opponent has a full hand, so... Yeah, alright. Do I play Mox Amber on one? Probably not. Probably not. Probably decent to save this, too? Maybe? Ooh, well, that is a reason to not cast it. Oh, that's a really annoying card to... Ugh! Alright, yep. I think I'm getting rid of the Kami because my hand needs help. I need things to do? Maybe I can actually afford to skip over the... No, I don't think I can. I don't think I can. So, here... Okay. I'll play these now. Okay. Not great. We did it. Opponent wasn't interested. Opponent was over it. We did it. What is this? Alright, it's the giant thing. Let's play a creature in turn one. Let's swing with the creature turn one. And then play this. Enters or attacks. Well, should probably deal with that. Oh, I missed 2 damage. I missed 2 damage. Never mind. I can't sack non-tokens. Never mind. We didn't miss any damage. Alright. All is fine. Literally world restored. Can I win on 2 lands? I mean, my board state is kind of scary. So maybe all of this is a problem, I think. No Toxic Deluge. Alright, they played the bad one. Oh no, cut down doesn't kill it, does it? No, it's a 3-3. I actually can't kill that. Well played, opponent. So do I play this, or do I play... Yeah, no, I always play this. Yeah. You ever just make, like, really bad mistakes constantly and then wonder why anyone watches you play Magic? Alright. Whoops. Shouldn't have sacked the zombie. Although, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, fortunately, that doesn't put stats in play. But it is convoluted rampant growths, I guess. Opponent made some convoluted rampant growths. Could have killed a Marauder. That was what I was talking about. You are correct. And I didn't. So, not gonna lie to you. I think I threw the game. I think we threw the game, chat. Feeling like the game has been completely and utterly thrown. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Do I leave up cut down? Surprised I didn't kill my commander. I probably would have killed my commander, but well, fair enough. Do I leave that in the graveyard? No, I don't think I do. Maybe I do. No, that seems reckless. Seems incredibly reckless. So, Chthonian Nightmare, and I don't think swinging for 2 with Mutavault is better than playing Bitter Blossom. Alright, I don't believe the giving my opponent 2 extra forests actually did anything long-term here. I think we were going to lose anyways. It's definitely looking like that. Definitely looking like that's the case, so... we can play this. We can kill our opponent's commander, right? This is a token. I don't know if that matters. They can just reanimate it with the shifting Noodlewood. I'd also have to lose my own commander. Yeah, that does not seem like a productive use of my resources, so... Is this random? It is random. So there's a chance my opponent doesn't get that back? Right? It's a random permanent. The problem is there's a lot of permanents in my opponent's deck. Graveyard, I mean. Okay, they hit like 4 lands in a row. They hit all but 2 lands. Wow. That's kind of crazy. And they hit me removal spell, of course. They didn't kill my commander. Alright. Probably wise. You know what, now that I'm looking at the board state, I would have killed this maybe, but yeah, the Chthonian Nightmare actually is just better. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's not like I can swing anymore. Does Art Ritual change anything? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. One, 2, 3, 4. Does that change anything? No, not really. Not gonna lie to you, I don't think it really changes anything. So I probably shouldn't. Maybe I should anyways. Just for the sake of doing it. Like, what? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can do it. No shot, you have a spell pierce. That was a very convoluted turn, I'm not gonna lie to you. That was very strange. If I had a sack outlet here, we would be sitting pretty, but I couldn't put this in play in time. So I don't know if I can win. Probably not. Doesn't look like I'm winning this at all. They're dead next turn, you think? Through the food tokens? Don't they make like 55 food tokens? I'm pretty sure they're not dead at all. I don't know. Like, bro, this is a green deck. Bold of you to assume I'm going to kill my opponent. Yeah, they have 6 food tokens. They could probably have more than 6 food tokens as well. I'm pretty sure there's not 19 damage in play. But I guess we're gonna find out. I have to play this first? Yeah, I have to play this first. Yeah, there's just not enough damage in play, so... I have to do things in this order. I don't have a choice. But that's just not enough. And then I can do one more and then we're dead. Yep. Too much food. Way too much food. Alright. So... I don't think I like this as much as I like Gix. I think Gix is far more straightforward. And, really likes more of those random 1/1s and whatnot. Like, oh, when it dies, you make a token. Like, this. Like, oh, yay! You know, your commander, yay, woo! But, like, Gix would probably like this more. Right? It does the thing, sort of like Eureka. You play a 1-drop, a 2-drop, you swing with it with Gix, you draw cards, infinite cards, cards. With this dies, you get a 1/1 flyer. It's just more annoying for your opponent to deal with. Whereas this wants to sacrifice your own creatures. And there's not really anything wrong with aristocrats, like, sacking your own creatures kind of strategies. I don't think they're bad. It's just more setup just so you have reach beyond simply attacking. We didn't have a lot of scenarios where I couldn't just straight up swing at my opponent with this and then feel bad that I can't trigger it and whatever. So that was nice. You know, you can put probably even more removal in here, but I don't think removal answers a lot of the problems this has, which is, well, someone said it earlier, yeah, where it feels like historic Brawl today has been pretty egregious, at least the second half of today, where it felt like I was kind of playing timeless Brawl and not historic Brawl. I know there's cards that are timeless only and not in Brawl, like Oko and stuff, but it does kind of feel like we're closer to timeless than we are to historic, and this play session has really pushed that forward to me. Kind of felt like basically every other game, especially the second half of today, was decided by turn 2, and it wasn't really relevant what either opponent had in terms of their command zone, as it was more relevant, like, did you kill their mana dork and then they concede, or did you kill it, they don't, then they ramp out of control and you lost, all because of like a mana dork or something. Missing Demonic Tutor, yeah, we're missing Demonic Tutor and Oko, but we have Diabolic Tutor, and this deck would arguably, between the two, probably prefer Diabolic Tutor, or Intent, whatever. But yeah, we don't have Diabolic Tutor. There's also a lot of ways to, like, generate timeless cards. Like, Oracle of the Alpha generates Black Lotus. Key to the Archive can generate Demonic Tutor. Like, we do have access to those cards. I think Oko is kind of the big one that would be a little bit defining if it was legal. But we also have House Meld, right? I can't show them. It's a blue card. I can't type it in. But House Meld, where, you know, it just exiles your commander and you can't get it back. It doesn't go to the command zone. It's an enchantment. If I get House Melded, I lose. And House Meld is everywhere. You can sack your own creature in response. I do have Feed the Swarm to get rid of it, but my opponent gets this. It's not like it's gone. My opponent actually gets the text box, and then they start to offset my life-stealing pings. So if you get House Melded, you sort of lose. It also gets around things like Cheat Death, because it doesn't kill it. It just, like, steals it. So it gets around all your feigned death effects. House Meld is just a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. It's basically 4 mana Door to Nothingness against this specifically. Where that is, again, not really the case with something like Gix. It sucks to assess a commander based off of, like what you're playing against more than what it is trying to accomplish. But this was, again, one of the most egregious play sessions when it came to my opponents just having something that was so defining about how the outcome was going to be so early in the game that a lot of things after that moment were completely irrelevant. Like, I'm spending all this time thinking about what to do, navigating the first few turns, and then they cast House Meld, and I don't have, like, you can't have it every game, especially early. Something like, I don't like Will Strider, I'll get into that in a second, but I don't have, like, Yawgmoth or Warren in play to sack it in response. I don't have a removal spell up to sack it. It's not frogified, so I can't throw it with bone shards or whatever. Like, it's gone. And then everything up to that point was completely irrelevant. Like, no other thing is going to get me out of that. You just lose the game. Sort of like, again, your opponent's on the play with Utopia Sprawl, and you can't kill Utopia Sprawl. You can do whatever you want to do, and your opponent can probably ignore you. Like, completely ignore you. And goes back to them, they cast Cultivate. You do whatever on turn 3, it goes back to them, they cast another ramp spell, or some... Now they're at the point they can cast something big and scary, and then the game is over. And your removal spell doesn't actually save you. So I wasn't a fan of removal to begin with, and it hasn't changed too much. There are some games, if you're playing against an honest opponent who's playing an honest strategy, who's not playing 2 lands a turn, or taking 5 extra turns, or, getting Uro out of the graveyard on turn 4, and then from then on doing it every other turn, which is, at this point, possible with so many fetch lands and stuff, right? Nashi just loves to mill itself, although I kind of don't like doing that on Nashi, but you can, right? Sultai or whatever. Blue-green things ignoring you is a nightmare, and when that kind of deck is not good to play against, you're just going to struggle in the format as a whole, and that's just what happens here. So that's just the nature of it. But talking about the deck and what it's doing, I don't like Woe Strider, Ashnod's Altar, Altar of Dementia. I don't think sacking my own creatures outside of combat is that necessary to kill my opponents. I think I can rely on swinging, especially if I have some removal to actually get through any kind of blocker, right? Even if they're playing Elder Gargaroth style creatures every turn. The fact that you're killing them isn't like... You don't really care about the counter... Gargaroth's not a good example, but you don't care about the counter pressure of giant creatures, let's say. It's more of just trying to actually swing with this. You could probably give it like Whisper Silk Cloak sort of unblockable effects and be a little happy, but or like flying with the flying equipment. I don't really think that matters, and there's a fair amount of times I don't even care if it dies, because I can get it back with like Chthonian Nightmare, Phyrexian Reclamation, Reanimate. People were saying Persist. I think Persist is better placed in decks that want to reanimate large, scary things. Maybe not just 3-mana 3/3s, but you could play Persist. I just wasn't. More Edict effects in the form of Marauder might have just been the right way to go when it comes to removal. It's hard to like play a bunch of... I'm losing my voice. It's hard to play a bunch of creatures and have them sack themselves to their effect while also expecting to have anything to eat with this, right? And again, the backside of this card is just like flavor. I mean, you can flip it. Sometimes the fact that it's suddenly flying can just push you over the finish line. Oh, I should do my outro later. Bro, my voice is gone. My voice is so gone. This is why I don't like these 4-hour streams. 4 or 5 hour streams. Anyways, so yeah, this is about as low to the ground as it gets in terms of mana cost, right? You could probably go lower and shave... I mean, that just doesn't feel realistic, but you could shave half the 3s in some of these and really just blitz early into play, just playing all these 1s and 2s. But then you're leaning more into just simply playing Gix in the command zone. And then you're just, you're not really leaning into this. There are ways to sack your creatures more consistently than I was doing. Again, Altar of Dementia and the like. I just don't think that accomplish as much. You have to play those cards. They're not creatures themselves. They're not removal spells. And they're not blitzing your opponent's face down outside of combat more than if you just had a creature in that slot. And then that creature could maybe swing or be a problem your opponent has to deal with, as opposed to just like a artifact that sits there and they don't really care, right? They're going to cast a removal spell anyways. You just sack it in response now to, whatever. But you have more hedge against House Meld, specifically. We got House Melded like 16 times today. There's like no hedge against that. More discard spells, so if they have it early, you can just take it out, right? So you could probably lean more into discard, I guess. It's just hard to make room for the aristocrat thing, especially in just mono black. It would be nice to be like black white. You could have like the black white kind of cards, or honestly even black red would have been nice. But mono black, it leaves a bit of the aristocrats sack strategy out of the equation when you're mono black. It is possible, right? It wasn't like I wasn't doing that. It would have been nice to have more of that. There was a new card that we had in here for a second. This thing. It's, it's fine. It's more of that effect. But it was a problem because it costs 3 mana. It takes up an entire turn to just put in play. And it's on the same turn as my commander would be cast. So, yeah, you can play it the next turn. You don't want to sacrifice it, ideally, unless you have something to reanimate spam, like Chthonian Nightmare, Phyrexian Reclamation. I don't know, it just feels expensive for this effect. And you got to keep in mind, most of the games you play, they don't last super long. This isn't really the kind of deck that wants to play a longer game anyways, right? You're going to run out of steam, and then you're going to die. I also didn't feel like I was fast enough to beat something like Ujin. And Ujin is all over the place, not just Hellsmeld, but Ujin is everywhere. And Ujin is a nightmare. If Ujin isn't beatable by the time they cast it, I think that's a very bad matchup. And it did not feel like I was going to beat Ujin fast. I don't think Gix would do too well against Ujin either, in all fairness. But I think Gix has redundancy because it can continuously draw cards and maybe a bunch of removal and stuff, right? Where this can also draw cards, but you have to like replace cards. You're not like netting card advantage unless you also have another card that's doing that for you, like a Reanimate Looper or a token generator like Bitter Blossom. So Ingix also just draws way more than one card a turn. So yeah, Gix is not running out of resources, quote unquote, in like a Ujin matchup, whereas you probably can run out of resources. Once they cast it the first time and exile your commander, then it has to go to the command zone. You can't reanimate it from the graveyard because it's exiled. And then there goes all of your ideal card draw, where, again, Gix can probably recover in a Ujin matchup specifically. Same with Housemeld. I think this would, if I hadn't already said that, this probably has a lot better of a time beating Housemeld, honestly. Especially if your opponent steals it, and then it sits there, and they can't swing at you and draw cards because their life total is going to be pressured from their Gix. Whereas this, if they steal this, they get a way better effect, and that's just a complete nightmare. So I can't really recommend this one. I thought it was better than I think, okay, you know what? I think this was probably worse than I thought it was going to be. I really do. I think this was worse than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be closer to Gix than it was, and it really wasn't, so yeah. I don't know. I looked at lists before I even made this one because I wasn't sure where to start. I was looking at EDH rec for multiplayer stuff. It is different in multiplayer than 1v1. That's another thing to consider. This is not 4-player. that you do play very different cards in a multiplayer format than this, and yeah, it just doesn't really work too well. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's really not great. Maybe a 6 out of 10. A 5 or a 6 out of 10, I think. If you're a fan of it and you have a deck list that's super successful, you're probably like, what? Oh, 8 out of 10. But I don't know. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. I play a lot of Historic Brawl. We know what most games are decided by, and this doesn't come too prepared for the greater, broader things out there that you're expected to play against. It's good in the mirror, though, right? You can say that. You have a 50% win rate in the mirror. Huge. All right. Let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. My voice is completely gone. Stuck in puberty. Forever in puberty.